are in Moab, Utah. We've been in this particular spot, which is Copper Mountain or something like that, off of Highway 191 and BLM Road 144. Been here now 2 nights. This is like the best place I've been so far. The dirt is packed so it doesn't get too dusty. It's completely flat space, plenty of room. I did get Kismet another cable, so that way when I hook him up, he's got 60 feet that he can go, and there's a shrubbery out there, which is about 60 feet from the trailer. So he has 60 feet coming to the trailer and then 60 feet radius, which is great for him. And discovered immediately when we got here. I don't know if what this is obviously BLM land, but there's cows and they're just grazing and it's awesome. And I love it. If we are here and this morning, I had to do this video because this morning we come out and it's only 7 a.m. and the sun is just starting to really shine and charge up the solar panels for the battery and letting Kismet out and finishing up my coffee, and there's like cows everywhere. I thought, okay, this is a great place and a great time to do an update, even though I did one just not too long ago. So, day from hell, travel day. It was the worst travel day since the very first day on the maiden voyage when I had all the technical issues, which I described months ago. I had been in Page, Arizona, and I'd been there for 2 weeks. And I just wanted to go up to an area called Mexican Hat, Utah, on my way to Moab. And the reason I did that is because I realized that the 3-hour trips are so much easier on the dog. And I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere specific. I'm just looking to live a lifestyle of kind of simplicity. Let me tell you, this day was not simple at all. I still feel new to the boondocking, obviously. And then finding a spot is, you do a lot of research. You have to, there's these apps that you can go on where people post things, pictures and GPS coordinates, and found a spot in Mexican Hat that looked perfect for us. So it was an easy, really easy drive. I got to say that if anything can salvage this day, which was just a few days ago, if anything can salvage it, it's that Utah is a beautiful state and the drive was simple and beautiful. But it wasn't meant to be for me to stay in Mexican Hat. So we arrived there, really simple. I dumped the tanks. That was the first thing. I got something going on with my hose that they didn't connect right. And so they started leaking right in the middle. That was pretty gross. I got it taken care of, but that was like the beginning of a really difficult day. So we drove up to Mexican Hat, which is a couple hours from Page, and found the spot right away. It was really easy. I'm like, oh, this is perfect, simple. I love this. The first like area that you could stop seems like it was either a staging area or it was a parking lot for people who are going to come and hike, or just so it wasn't right. There was 3 big fifth wheel trailers sitting there side by side. And I'm like, I don't want to stay there. That's not going to be where I want to be for a few days or a week. I just went further down the road as the GPS coordinates was guiding me, right? As soon as I get to the spot where the GPS shows, I see it's like it's up a hill a little bit and it's a big, huge rock. So I'm already concerned. It's like, I don't think it's going to be level enough for my trailer, but we'll give it a shot. My truck would not pull the trailer up over this hump kind of thing. My truck is not 4-wheel drive. And so the back tires just spun and the trailer starts to go a little cockeyed and it's going up a hill, which frightened the heck out of me. It took me a little while to get to back out of that because there was no way I was going to be able to pull up and make a U-turn. And I didn't want to go any further because there was a big dip that went down like that. And I'm like, if I can't get up this hill, I might get down that one, but maybe not back up it when I come back. So I wasn't that confident to, whatever, we'll figure it out. Not pulling this kind of unit. And I'm pointing out here because the trailer's right here. So anyway, I had to carefully back out of that. And that was getting myself into a pickle, number 1 for the day. So, okay, I had another place picked out, Valley of the Gods, and thought, okay, this will be perfect. So it was only maybe 20 more minutes up the road, maybe 30, I can't remember. And it was my second choice. I figured if Mexican Hat doesn't work out, I'll go up to Valley of the Gods. It shows big pictures of big rigs and everything in there. As I'm going up the highway, the entrance is on the left, so I'm going to have to turn left over the highway. So I start to slow down. And as I see where the entrance is, it's another big dip going down. Even though I can see wide open spaces and lots of big rigs out there, I also saw a lot of dust kicking up. And I'm over the wind and the dust right now because it's impossible to keep the trailer clean and the dog sheds. And so I've got dirty dog hair all over everything. And I'm like, I don't think I want to spend a week in dust. So I just kept driving and felt a little bit relieved when realizing, okay, there's just a lot of off-road vehicles out there that are kicking up the dust. So I just kept going, but I knew I was like, where am I going to go? I'm headed toward Moab, which is okay, but where am I going to stay for the week that I'd planned before I go up to Moab? So I pull over and I'm searching these apps again, looking for another location near me. And I found something that looked really nice, kind of by a reservoir. It was the same situation as the Mexican Hat. I got down to an area that could have worked for the trailer, but it really wasn't going to work for the trailer. It wasn't private. It was right off the road. There was a lot of dirt there. It seemed dangerous and sketchy. And I'm like, I don't think so. So once again, I'm having to back the trailer up and maneuver it around so I can because there's no way to make a U-turn. I'm having to back it up. And that's not an easy thing to do when you're all by yourself and you don't have a backup camera. Okay, so I got out of that. Now you got to keep in mind that each one of these little stops takes about a good 20 minutes or even 30 minutes for me to get out of there. So my 2.5 hour trip now is getting into 4 hours. I'm frustrated because this is now the second time I've had to like jackknife my trailer and maneuver it out very slowly. So then I'm like, all right, I might as well just go and head on up to Moab. I found another spot and okay, so I'm like still going up to Moab. And I found another place that was just like on a hill and it looked like farm country or whatever. And the street was called Radio Hill Road. I'm like, okay, I like that. So if I'm going to go to Radio Hill Road, I'll go check that out. Stop there, pull over, another beautiful spot. But the Radio Hill Road was a dirt road straight up the hill. This is soft sand. It's not, it's my truck's not 4-wheel drive. And so, but I thought, well, this is a nice road. We'll see where it leads. And it was nice. The road was good. It was a packed dirt road, but it's looking like abandoned farms, abandoned shacks. I think the road was called Dude Ranch Road. And I'm like, I have no idea where I'm headed. And I go like maybe 10 minutes and there's nowhere to turn around. There's nowhere to camp. And I'm like, I don't know how far I'm going. And I'm looking at the clock and I can't drive at night for a number of reasons. My vision won't allow me to drive at night because it's really bad. And then I'm still having an electrical issue that I haven't taken care of yet with my backup camera and my running lights. And the reason I haven't worried about it so much is I've been so consumed with all of the other systems and I can't drive at night anyway. So that's like the least of my concerns right now. But yet on the other hand, when I get stuck in a pickle and I can't go anywhere and it's dark, I'm stuck wherever I am. So once again, I found a little place that maybe I could turn around here. And once again, it was a struggle because my truck and trailer going this way and I need to get full around like 180 degrees turned around. And the only thing I could do is these 50,000 point turns to try to turn it around because there's no turnouts and no way to U-turn. So I get out of there and I'm like, all right, we're just going to go to the coordinates that my friends had sent me. These are friends that I had met at the Escapers Bash back in January when I was in Lake Havasu. And they're Utah residents, they're Utah natives, and so they do this boondocking all the time. And they have a big fifth wheel, and what they do is triple tow, which means that they tow their fifth wheel with their truck, and then behind that, they also have a trailer with their side-by-side on it. And I figure, okay, wherever they're sending me is going to be big enough that my little 25-foot trailer will make it. So I'm cool with that. And so I wasn't expecting to get up this far so soon. I thought I would be in Mexican Hat for a week, but all right, we'll make adjustments. It's the nice thing about this lifestyle is you can be flexible. So we get up there and the place is about 40 minutes outside of Moab. Drive through Moab, beautiful place. Reminding me, honestly, a lot of Sedona. It's a tourist town now. Lots of great things going on, lots of tours, lots of off-roading, lots of hiking, adventures, all sorts of stuff. There's campgrounds everywhere. I realized that, this is the Sedona of Utah, basically, is Moab. Or at least for now, that's my impression. So the area that I'm going to is outside of Moab. So I drive right through Moab and I get on this highway and it's a beautiful drive right along the Colorado River. It's something that you would want to take on a lazy Sunday. Little state park campgrounds parked by the river. I don't think any of them would have been big enough for my trailer, but some of the places did have trailers my size down there. So those were options. But as I'm driving by, I'm realizing I have no cell service. So I'm still operating on just my cell phone. So I go and it's 35 minutes. I'm out. I'm driving down this road and it's a gorgeous drive, but I'm still worried about the cell phone. But I figure maybe when I get around this bend, the cell service will get better. I get to about a half a mile from where the GPS coordinates are guiding me. And there's a fork in the road that goes up a hill. Okay, I'm going to do this. So I start to go up the hill, and guess what? My truck will not pull the trailer up. It's not four-wheel drive. It's loose sand. And my tires are just spinning. And as my tires are spinning, the trailer's starting to go cockeyed. And it's a curved hill now. This is the fourth time for the day. And every single time I'm worried, I was praying, Lord, please don't let me do any damage to my trailer or my truck. I can't turn it around at this point. There's no way to turn it around. I can't go further up. I have to back it down this hill. Now, let's remember, I'm only 7 months into this. I'm not that experienced, plus dealt with poop hose leak. So I'm not happy, but I'm remarkably calm. I really, and I got to just attribute it to trusting God to get me out of it. Almost laughable, but getting frustrated. So as I'm trying to do this and the trailer's just spinning and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm getting out. I'm looking. I'm trying to strategize. And just as I'm doing this, these 4 vehicles start to come down from the top of the hill. And now they're going to be stuck there until I'm done. There's no way that they could pass me unless I move over because I'm in the middle of the road. Like that, I could use some help. I was able to at least maneuver the truck and trailer to pull over a little bit so they could just go. I'll be patient. The first 2 cars were really wanted to help. Grateful. They said, let's just let us help you. I'll spot, we see what's happening here. And I told them, my friends gave me these GPS coordinates. They said I'd be fine. I don't think they were counting on the sand and I can't get up there. And they said, you wouldn't want to go up there anyway. Everything's rutted. It took us what did he say? 45 minutes to go 8 miles just because we had to go real slow. I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that. So they guided me down and fortunately it was very successful. It was not as bad as I was anticipating, mostly though, because I had one person standing on one side of the trailer and one standing in the back of the trailer. So I was so very appreciative that they were willing to stop and help me. And it really only took maybe 10 minutes. So I got the trailer around, stopped and regained my senses. And it's like, at this time, it's 5 o'clock. And I know the sun's going to go down in just a few hours. I better find myself a place to stay for the night. But right now, I still have no cell signal. I got another 40 minutes to drive before my cell service is going to pick up again. So I get back in. I drive the 40 minutes. Now it's like after 6. I let the dog out, just give him a break. I hadn't eaten. I needed to eat. So we took like a 20-minute break, just pulled over before cell service. And then I drove the 30 minutes. So by the time I got where there's cell service, it's 6:30. I start calling RV parks because I figured at least I can get some RV park, stay the night, start over tomorrow in the morning. So the first 2 parks I called didn't even have a spot. Right. Because I'm not really familiar with the area. And I know you can stay at a Walmart or a rest stop or something like that, but there's nothing like that close by that's going to keep me in the Moab area. Anyway, there was an RV park across the street, which was the same franchise as the one that I stayed at in Santa Barbara. So I knew it was going to be expensive, but at this point, I don't care. So I called the office. Office is closed. I figured I'm just going to drive over there and see what happens. Maybe there's somebody in there. So I get over there and sure enough, there's nobody there, but they do have a list of sites that are available that you can use. And they say, just take the site and come to the office in the morning and square up with us. Found a spot, plugged in, perfectly level. I didn't even unhitch from the trailer because I knew I was leaving early. And because I knew I was leaving before the office opened, I just called them up and told them my name and gave them my phone number and said, I'll be gone before your office opens, but give me a call and we'll square up the space that I took for the night. So I get up early in the morning knowing that I have a client at 9 a.m., but I got to find a spot. So I found another spot that was another boondocking area, BLM area. That was about 15 minutes out of town called Willow Springs Road. Took me a little while to find a spot because the place was super crowded. Lots of people there. Not very many level spots. Looks like it was more for tenting, but also realizing it's also for off-roaders. So there's a lot of dirt bikes, a lot of side-by-sides, a lot of like dust everywhere. But I did manage to get a spot. Somebody was leaving and I was able to pull right in and it was perfect. It was level. I was facing the wilderness, not the roads, and the dog was really happy. But the thing was, it was loud. There was a lot of people. I was only maybe 30 feet from where the main entrance road was, and it seemed like a parade, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it was fine, and I felt safe. Everything was great, but there was a lot of dust being kicked up by that. The trailer was a disaster. When it got windy, I had to close the windows because the dust was just coming in. So basically, I'm not extremely happy there, even though if I can't find anything, this will suffice for a while. But I got back on, I connected with my friends again and told them what had happened. And so they sent me another coordinates, and it was only about 15 minutes from where I was on Willow Springs Road. And this is the place. And I just cannot be more thankful and appreciative because it's quiet. This is not for off-roaders, and it's on some sort of a land where we have cows grazing. And so first thing in the morning, my dog gets to come out and play with the cows. It's awesome. I love it. So we're going to stay here for 2 weeks. So we're still in Moab, and that's my little adventure story to catch you up to speed to where I'm at. I can honestly say that an old me would have been crying and frustrated and anxious and probably not calm enough to gently maneuver my way out of those 4 pickles that I got myself into in one day. Very thankful that God has humbled me in a way to just trust that he's got me. And I think maybe that was the lesson, because some things have been occurring up to this point in the last couple of weeks, financial issues, family stuff, relational issues that have stirred up some anxiety in me. And I've just been praying about it and made a lot of calm. I'm in the word all the time, but then I always let you pepper in other messages. And they're mostly about spiritual stuff and obviously, but my prayer life, obviously out here, I have no one else to talk to. It's me and the dog. So I talk to God a lot. He's like right there with me, and it was great. Did I feel the presence of my brothers? Yes, absolutely. And even though it was a day from hell and it was long, my 2.5 hour trip turned out to be a 12-hour day. I was exhausted mentally and emotionally. I needed to eat. The dog needed to eat. And then we just went to bed. And I got up really early in the morning. I packed up everything, and which wasn't really much. It took me probably 15 minutes to get out of there. And that was just because of the slide outs and the stabilizers, honestly, to get out of there and find the new spot. And then I had therapy sessions. And that's why I stayed where I was. Once I got to the Willow Springs Road, even though I wasn't that sure of it, it's limited because I got a client in an hour and I'm not going to cancel on my client. So I stuck it out at Willow Springs, but here we'll stay here for a couple of weeks.